Caffeine addiction among Uitm Dungun'S students.
My name is Nur Iman Fatia binti Cik Zuki and my student ID is 2022697206.
Hi, my name is Aina Zahatu binti Abdul Rahman and my student ID is 2022843696.
Hi, my name is Nur Shazana Afrina binti Muhammad Wizahan. My student ID is 2022893174.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Nur Hidayatul Sumaya binti Nur Effendi. My matric number is 2022843752. Okay, so today we are going to present our group project where the title is Caffeine Addiction among Uitm Dungun'S students. So for the introduction, why college students addicted to caffeine? This is because college students have to depend on caffeine to increase more energy to do their assignments. Second, students get hold of caffeine because they try to maximize their sense of energy for as many hours as possible. Then, caffeine can improve mood energy for as many hours because drinking coffee can increase mental alertness and reduces tiredness. Caffeine also works as stimulator of the central nervous system in our body. Our group has been studying several objectives based on the survey questions, which is to investigate the percentage of Uitm Dungun'S students taking caffeine in a week. Second, to know how many students Uitm Dungun are addicted to caffeine. Third, to identify how students Uitm Dungun take caffeine. And the last one is to know how much students Uitm Dungun spends on buying caffeine. For the sampling technique, our group decided to use convenience sampling where the population that we aim is students Uitm Dungun. For the samples, we've got 65 students in Uitm Dungun. The reason for this is there are two types of sampling techniques which are probability and non-probability samplings. We use non-probability sampling technique or in other name non-random sampling technique to find respondents in this survey. We use this method as it is much more convenient and the respondents are selected because they happen to be in the right place at the right time where we are trying to conduct our survey.
Next is data collection method. The method used to collect and obtain data is through Google Form. Google Form can be used to collect qualitative and quantitative information. This method is aimed to collect information from respondents. By using this method, we gather a lot of data in less time. Our group directly investigate Uitm Dungun'S students about caffeine addiction. There are about 65 students who have chosen to complete the questionnaire. Data analysis and the result. The first question of qualitative data. The first bar chart above show where students usually buy their caffeine. There are total of 21 students buying their caffeine at Tea Life in the highest one. The second highest where students buy caffeine is at Starbucks with a total of 80 students. Furthermore, the lowest are about 4 students who buy their caffeine at Richiamo Coffee. Second question is, are you addicted to caffeine? The pie chart above represents the total of students who are addicted to caffeine. We have found out that 32 out of 65 students at Uitm Dungun are addicted to caffeine, although the other 33 students are not addicted to caffeine. Does caffeine still affect you? The bar chart displays the total of students who are still affected by caffeine. The highest answer is no, which got 36 votes. For yes answer, only got 29 votes.
Next, we move to the data analysis of quantitative. The first question we ask to the student is, how much do students in Uitm Dungun Terengganu take caffeine in a week? Our chart shows the result we've got for this question, which is 42 per 65 of responses is the highest response for 4 to 6 cups. The second highest response is 14, which is for 7 to 9 cups. And then 1 to 3 cups with 8 responses, and the lowest are only 1 student who takes 10 to 12 cups of caffeine in a week. The result shows the calculation we have made for this question, which is mean we've got 5.37, median we've got 5.25, and mode we've got 5.15. So the interpretation is, on average, the number of caffeine taken per week in a week are 5.37 of cups. So most of the students in Uitm Dungun took 5.15 cups of caffeine in a week. Next, the variance is 3.52. The standard deviation is 1.88. The coefficient of variation is 35.01%, and the Pearson coefficient of skewness is 0.12. So the result of the calculation shows that the graph is skewed to the right, or known as positively skewed. So the conclusion is, the average, the number of caffeine taken per cup by the students in a week, deviated as much as 1.88 cups from its means of 5.37 cups. So these are the graph for ogive graph and frequency polygon. And the last one is the histogram graph.
How much do you spend on buying caffeine usually? Representation above shows that most students spend 11 ringgit to 50 ringgit on caffeine. However, for a small number of students, which is only 4 people in our survey, show that they spend 21 ringgit and above on caffeine. This is because spending a lot of money on caffeine is not ideal for a student's budget. They do need the money for other life necessities such as food and laundry. Here, we have calculations for mean, mode, and median to analyze our data. So for mean, we got 11.62, which means, on average, the spending amount on buying caffeine by students in Uitm Dungun are 11 ringgit 62 cents. Next, we got median, which is 11.56, and the last one, mode, which we got 11.75, which means most of the students in Uitm Dungun spend 11 ringgit 75 cents per cup of caffeine. Next, we got to calculate variance, standard deviation, coefficient of variation, Pearson's coefficient of skewness, and the graph, which we got to know whether it's negative or positive. We have to calculate this so that we can understand the measurements when the data is already distributed. So the variance is 26.18 and the standard deviation is 5.12. So the average, the spending amount on buying caffeine per cup by the students in Uitm Dungun deviated as much as 5 ringgit 12 cents from its mean of 11 ringgit 62 cents. So the coefficient of variation we got is 44.06%, and the Pearson coefficient of skewness we got is negative 0.3, which we got negative skew or skewed to the left. This presentation represents two graph, which is ogive graph and frequency polygon, where we also calculate the class boundary and cumulative frequency for ogive graph and midpoint and frequency for frequency polygon. The histogram above shows how much do you spend on buying caffeine usually. The histogram shows that the highest was 11 ringgit to 15 ringgit in a week. The second highest was 6 ringgit to 10 ringgit, and the lowest was 21 ringgit and above, which only consists of 4 out of 65 students in Uitm Dungun.
And the conclusion for this project, based on the survey that we have conducted to all of the Uitm Dungun students in all faculties, we can come to term that all students depend on caffeine for gaining energy, because we believe that students study for hours non-stop and they need the caffeine to stay awake. That's all from us. Thank you.